Have you ever wondered what separates someone who says, "I have nothing," from someone who builds wealth from absolute zero? It is not money, it is not luck, it is not even talent. It is one simple but powerful ability, the capacity to see value where others see emptiness. For more than 2,000 years, Jewish communities were expelled, stripped of their possessions, and forced to begin again with empty hands. Again and again, they lost everything. And yet, again and again, they rebuilt. They rebuilt businesses, rebuilt influence, rebuilt prosperity, and in many cases, rebuilt empires. How is that possible? Because they understood something that most people never learn. Money is never the starting point. Money is always the consequence. And if today you feel like you have nothing, then listen carefully, because this may change everything. You already have everything you need. You just do not see it yet. Shalom. I am Rabbi Joseph. What I'm about to share with you today is not theory. This is not empty motivation designed to make you feel good for a few minutes. This is ancestral financial wisdom tested across centuries of exile, loss, rebuilding, and prosperity. These are principles rooted in the Torah, reflected in the Talmud, and reinforced through generations of people who repeatedly transformed nothing into abundance. If you stay until the end, you will understand why the person who waits to have money before starting never truly begins, and why the one who starts with what is invisible eventually controls what becomes visible. Let me tell you a story. More than 3,000 years ago, a man named Abraham left his homeland with only one instruction from God. The instruction was simple, yet terrifying. Leave your country, leave your people, leave your father's house, and go to the land that I will show you. Now ask yourself something important. What did Abraham actually have at that moment? He had no land, he had no army, he had no inheritance waiting for him. He did not even have children. By every worldly standard, Abraham had nothing. But he possessed something more valuable than gold, more powerful than resources, and more important than money. He had direction. And this brings us to the first principle of Jewish prosperity. Wealth does not begin with money. Wealth begins with clarity. When someone says, "I have nothing," what they are really saying is, "I do not know what to do with what I already have." And that is the real problem. Because the truth is, you do have something. You have time. You have words. You have the ability to solve a problem for someone. You have relationships, even if they are few. You have knowledge, even if it is basic. And most importantly, you have your reputation waiting to be built. The Talmud teaches a profound principle. The sages wrote, "It is not your duty to finish the work, but neither are you free to abandon it." What does this really mean? It means you do not need to have everything figured out today. You do not need to see the entire path. You only need to take the first step with what you already have. Jewish communities learned this lesson through real experience. Every time they were expelled from a country, they arrived in the next place with nothing. No capital, no contacts, no familiarity with the language, no established networks. But they never arrived without value. And here is the key that most people overlook. Money is shy. It does not chase the person who desperately chases it. Instead, money follows the person who creates real usefulness. If today you help one person solve one problem, even a small one, you already have the beginning of a system. You do not need a company. You do not need a university degree. You do not need investors. You only need to identify a need and respond to it. Look around you right now. What problem do you see that nobody is solving? What complaint do you hear repeatedly? What frustration do people express around you? That is where your opportunity lives. The secrets of Jewish millionaires are not found in the accumulation of money. They are found in the transformation of knowledge into service and service into trust. And trust, my friend, eventually transforms into money. Here is something most people misunderstand. They believe that to make money, you must first have money. But according to the teachings of the Talmud, your first capital is not in your pocket. Your first capital is in your mind. Jewish communities have often been called the people of the book. This is not accidental. They invested first in knowledge, not possessions. Why? Because knowledge cannot be taken away from you. Someone can take your house, someone can take your business, someone can take your country, but what you know travels with you wherever you go. There is a powerful teaching in the Torah. It says that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of Hashem. This is not only spiritual wisdom, it is practical, financial wisdom, because words create realities, words build relationships, words create opportunities, words open doors, words build trust, and trust, over time, becomes influence. Influence becomes opportunity. Opportunity becomes wealth. Your way of thinking determines your actions, and your actions determine your results. This is not just motivational language. This is a financial law that has shaped the destiny of individuals, families, and entire communities for generations. Let me be direct with you. If today you have no money, it is probably not because there are no opportunities around you. It is more likely because your mind has not yet been prepared to recognize those opportunities. Think about how many times you have told yourself, "I cannot do this. I do not know how," or "I have nothing to start with." Each time you repeat those words, you are not just expressing frustration. You are programming your mind for scarcity, and a mind trained in scarcity does not see doors opening. It only sees walls, it only sees risk, it only sees reasons to wait. But those who have studied Jewish financial wisdom understand something fundamental. According to the teachings rooted in the Torah, wealth begins in the mind before it appears in the hands. First, you change how you think, then you change how you live, never the other way around. This is why education has always been placed above possessions. Because a prepared mind can multiply small resources into large outcomes. A prepared mind can take something small and transform it into something meaningful. Not through miracles, but through applied knowledge, discipline, and persistence. Let me give you a practical example. Imagine someone who knows how to repair mobile phones. That person does not need large capital to begin. That person needs knowledge and a few basic tools. With those tools, that individual can begin offering a service. The service can be priced modestly at first. One client becomes two becomes 5. Slowly, income begins to appear. The knowledge was the first capital, and you also have knowledge. Maybe you do not recognize it yet, but you have it. Perhaps you know how to cook. Perhaps you know how to clean efficiently. Perhaps you know how to speak persuasively. Perhaps you know how to write. Perhaps you know how to take care of children. Perhaps you understand something that someone else struggles to understand. Every skill, no matter how simple it seems, is valuable to someone else. The mistake most people make is waiting. Waiting for the perfect moment. Waiting until they have more money. Waiting until someone gives them permission. Waiting until they feel ready. But ancestral financial wisdom teaches something very different. It teaches that you begin today with what you have, where you are. Because money does not reward perfect preparation. Money rewards consistent action. Now, we arrive at one of the most powerful and misunderstood principles of Jewish prosperity. Your relationships are worth more than your bank account. This is not a cliché. This is an economic principle that has been proven across centuries. When Jewish communities arrived in new countries after being expelled, the first thing they did was not search for jobs. The first thing they did was search for community. They connected with one another. They shared information. They supported each other. They built networks based on trust. From these networks emerged business opportunities. From these networks came partnerships. From these networks came interest-free loans, because the Torah discourages charging interest between brothers. From these networks came collective prosperity. Do you see the difference? They did not say, "I need money." They said, "We need to prosper." And within that "we" lies the secret. The Talmud teaches, all Israel is responsible for one another. This is not only a spiritual idea, it is also a business model. It is a strategy for building long-term wealth. You might say, "But Rabbi, I do not have a community like that." That is understandable. But let me ask you something. Have you tried to build one? Relationships do not appear magically. They are cultivated. They are nourished. They are built slowly through repeated acts of trust and generosity. There is a practical method for this. It can be called relational giving. In Hebrew, the word used is tzedakah. Tzedakah is not simply charity, it is justice. It is giving what is right. In business, this means giving before receiving. This may sound counterintuitive, especially if you feel like you have nothing to give. But you do have something to give. You can give your time. You can give your attention. You can give your knowledge. You can connect two people who could benefit from each other. Each time you do this, you deposit into an invisible bank. This bank does not always pay immediately. It does not always pay tomorrow, but eventually, often when you least expect it, you begin receiving calls. You begin receiving offers. You begin receiving opportunities. Why? Because you built a reputation. And reputation is one of the most valuable currencies in Jewish financial wisdom. Throughout history, Jewish communities have often dominated industries, not because they started with more money, but because they developed stronger networks of trust. A business deal could be made with a handshake because generations had built a culture where a person's word carried weight. You can apply the same principle. Start small. Help one person today without expecting anything in return. Tomorrow, help another. In 1 month, you will have helped many individuals. And among those people, several will remember your name when opportunities appear. That is your network. That is your invisible wealth. Now let me share something that might frustrate you at first, but will ultimately liberate you. There is no sustainable fast money. The secrets of Jewish millionaires are not built on sudden luck. They are built on systems repeated over time. There is a fascinating story in the Torah about a man named Jacob. When Jacob worked for his father-in-law Laban, they made an agreement. Jacob would keep the spotted and striped sheep, while Laban would keep the solid white ones. At first glance, it seemed like a poor agreement for Jacob. But Jacob understood something deeper. You do not need the best deal. You need the right system applied consistently. Jacob created a method. He placed striped rods near the sheep during breeding. Over time, more and more sheep were born striped. This was not magic. It was observation, repetition, patience, and consistency. Eventually, Jacob became extremely wealthy. Apply this principle to your own life. You do not need a large company today. You need a small action repeated every day. If you sell something, sell every day, even if it is to one person. If you offer a service, offer it every day, even if it is to one contact. If you learn something, learn every day, even if it is only a short period of time. The Talmud teaches that consistency matters more than speed. The same applies to money. It is not how much you earn in one day. It is how consistently you generate value over time. Some people earn a large amount once and then nothing afterwards. Others earn small amounts regularly and gradually build stability. Over time, consistency wins. Jewish communities built fortunes not only because of brilliant ideas, but because of disciplined execution of simple ideas. They opened small shops. They served customers well every day. Over time, one shop became two. Two became several. Eventually, small beginnings turned into large enterprises. Do you see the pattern? Start small, repeat, adjust, continue, do not quit, because quitting is the only true failure. Everything else is learning. Money favors consistency, not desperation, not urgency, consistency. Now we arrive at one of the deepest principles. Many people confuse spirituality with passivity, but the idea of divine abundance does not mean sitting and waiting for miracles. It means becoming the channel through which blessings flow. In Deuteronomy, it is written that God gives the power to create wealth. Notice the wording carefully. It does not say wealth is given directly. It says, the ability to create wealth is given. This is the difference between scarcity and abundance. Scarcity waits to receive. Abundance prepares to create. Jewish wisdom teaches that human effort and divine blessing work together. Effort alone is not enough, but waiting alone is not enough either. When effort meets blessing, sustainable abundance emerges. You bring discipline, strategy, and action. The Creator multiplies results beyond your effort. Another essential principle is giving. Giving activates circulation, and circulation creates growth. Jewish tradition encourages giving a portion of income from the very beginning, not after becoming wealthy, but in order to build wealth. Because money that circulates grows, while money that stagnates loses energy. Giving does not only mean money. You can give your time, you can give your knowledge, you can give your support. Each act strengthens trust, builds relationships, and activates opportunities. If today you have nothing, here is the roadmap. First, identify your invisible value, your skills, your time, your ability to help. Second, offer that value to someone who needs it. Do not focus immediately on payment. Focus on building reputation. Third, repeat consistently. Each action builds momentum. Each interaction builds trust. Each small step builds your invisible wealth. Step 3. While you are building your reputation, begin expanding your network. Meet people, speak with them, listen to them, help them, connect with them in an authentic and sincere way, because relationships are not built through transactions. They are built through trust. And trust, over time, becomes opportunity. The wealthiest individuals in history did not build their success alone. They built it through connections, through partnerships, through relationships formed over time. Jewish communities understood this deeply. When they entered a new country, they did not isolate themselves. They connected, collaborated, and created ecosystems of mutual growth. You can do the same. Start small. Speak to one person today. Offer help without expecting anything in return. Ask questions. Learn about their needs. Introduce people who can benefit from knowing each other. Every genuine interaction becomes a seed, and seeds, when nurtured, grow into opportunities you cannot predict. Step 4. Repeat one small action every single day. Sell something, offer a service, learn a new skill, reach out to someone, create something useful, improve something you already started. But whatever you do, do not stop. Consistency is where transformation happens. Many people underestimate the power of small actions repeated daily. They look for dramatic changes, big breakthroughs, instant success. But lasting wealth rarely comes from sudden bursts. It comes from daily discipline. The Jewish approach to prosperity has always emphasized repetition, one action today, another tomorrow. Over time, these actions compound. Small efforts become meaningful progress. Meaningful progress becomes momentum. Momentum becomes growth. Step 5. Give something, even if it is small. Activate circulation. Trust that more will come. This principle may seem simple, but it is one of the most powerful foundations of lasting wealth. Giving creates movement. Movement creates energy. And energy attracts opportunity. When you give, you are not losing. You are planting. You are building goodwill. You are strengthening your reputation. You are creating invisible pathways that eventually bring value back to you. This is the system. It is not fast, but it is reliable. It is not flashy, but it is powerful, and it has worked for thousands of years, from Abraham to modern entrepreneurs who apply business principles rooted in Jewish wisdom. The formula is simple, yet profound. Value, network, repetition, generosity, consistency. These 5 pillars have supported generations of individuals who started with nothing and built lasting prosperity. Now we are approaching the end of this message, but in reality, you are standing at the beginning, because everything I have shared with you today means nothing if it remains only in your mind. The teachings of the Torah were never meant to be admired. They were meant to be lived. If today you feel like you have nothing, then listen carefully to what any rabbi who understands the verses about prosperity would tell you. You have more than you think. You have a mind that can learn. You have hands that can work. You have a voice that can communicate. You have the ability to serve. And most importantly, you have the opportunity to begin. Do not wait for the perfect moment. Do not wait until you have more. Do not wait for someone to give you permission. Start today. Start with what you have. Start where you are. Because money does not come to those who wait. It comes to those who move with purpose. The secrets of Jewish millionaires are not secrets because they are hidden. They are secrets because few people are willing to apply them. They require humility to start small. They require patience to repeat consistently. They require generosity to give before receiving. They require faith to trust that honest and consistent effort will be blessed. But if you do your part, results will follow. Not overnight, not instantly, but with certainty. Because these are not motivational tricks. These are principles tested across centuries. These are prosperity laws that survived persecution, exile, and economic crisis. And yet, they created generation after generation of prosperous individuals. You can become the next story of transformation. You can become the person who, 1 year from now, looks back and says, I started with nothing, but I did not remain with nothing. You can build abundance from zero. Not because I say it, but because ancestral financial wisdom has demonstrated it again and again. If you truly believe that you can build wealth from where you are, no matter how little you have today, write in the comments, I start today with what I have. Show that you are not only listening, but acting. Because this teaching is not for those searching for excuses, it is for those searching for direction. And if this message awakens something inside you, share it. Because real abundance is not kept, it multiplies when it is shared. This is how communities built empires. By sharing knowledge, by connecting people, by building networks of prosperity. And now, before you leave, remember this. Your journey does not end with this video. In fact, this is where your awakening truly begins. Every lesson you heard today is part of a deeper path, a transformation that unfolds step by step. If this message resonated with you, then I invite you to continue this journey with us. Subscribe to this channel so you never miss the next lesson that could transform your financial future. Like this video so more people searching for direction can discover it. Comment below to declare your commitment and share this message with someone who needs hope, clarity, and a new beginning. And if you are ready to go deeper, continue watching our playlist, Unlimited Wealth Awakening. This playlist was created to guide you step by step, helping you develop the mindset, the discipline, and the strategy needed to build lasting wealth from zero. Because one video can inspire you, but a journey of learning can transform you. So continue your path, continue your awakening, continue building your future. Shalom. And may the Creator bless every step you take starting today.